still even know how to start the video on this one.
Race car.
Race car! Exclamation marks. We get to work on a legendary 80s sports car, the Ford Sierra Cosworth. I don't know whether this, looking this way, whether this was a 2-door or a 4-door, but it is in fact a 2-door. It has the 80s legend, or 80s and early 90s legendary engine, the Ford YB 2-litre turbo. And it has one of our Ford YB manifolds on it. Zoom. Do a zoom. But the reason this car is here is not a happy one, ladies and gentlemen. They broke the exhaust manifold at a race. Broke it in a way that I haven't seen before. They snapped the billet ring off of the top of the manifold, the bit that the turbo connects to. They managed to snap that in half. I'm not 100% sure. Well, I wasn't 100% sure how they did it, but I'm 99.8% sure how they've done it now. The exhaust system on this and the engine are completely rigidly mounted. There is no movement, no flex at all whatsoever, not even slightly, which means that there's no room for thermal expansion. So they were fine over 15-minute stints, but it was the half-an-hour stints that they were saying. As soon as it did over 25 minutes, the heat soak from a 25-minute session did separate, just split in half the billet ring. Didn't break on the weld though, so that's impressive. But it did snap the ring in half. So what we're going to do now is build a downpipe in order to mitigate this thermal expansion. Before I make the exhaust system, I'm going to sit in here in Steve Scott's office. He's a big man. He's a lot taller than me. His legs are longer than me. I just like to sit. When you get a proper race car like this, it's that's actually complete. Usually we get a shell of a car with an engine in it, and we get to work on that. We don't very rarely get a full, complete working race car to sit in. So I'm just gonna take just 2 minutes and sit in this, and just imagine myself. And it's 1989 in my head at the minute. I was a year old then, but in my head.
Now it's recording.
Now it's recording. Or I can make. So we're making a 3.5-inch downpipe. The outlet of the turbo is a 3-inch. So we'll slap a cone on the ring. And then I'm going to cut some pipe work and feed it down through that gap. And then, once I have a suitable route for the main part of the downpipe, I'm going to work out how to plumb that wastegate back in. It looks like it's just going to want to bend and straight back, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue, hopefully. But there might be an issue, because it's just always is, because cars do have issues. It's how life is when you work in the car industry, the automotive industry. Pretty much makes itself, really, doesn't it?
It makes itself.
It makes itself. It's pretty much aligned with that. Just come up.
It's actually quite good, isn't it?
I'll just come up. I'll come up a little bit. So we throw it a little bit low. So they already had a curb moment there.
Join this little system here.
I've got my drum. Probably tuck that up a little bit. They've already made this and they don't want a new one. So. Oh, I do have to remove that, I don't know. You meet me yet again underneath the Sierra. The only thing that I've done since last time we met underneath the Sierra is tack all of this together. Look, all is tacked.
Yeah, that's what you see.
Quite the flexi joint, isn't it? Is it this part of the video where I remind why we put that kind of flexi in. Because someone on the internet says, and that's the wrong type of flexi to put there. And usually I would completely agree with said person. However, the engine here, this thing, see the engine, makes the car go forwards. It's incredibly stiff. In fact, that is solidly mounted to the chassis. There is no movement at all, in any way, shape or form, not even a tiny little bit. The exhaust system is then solidly mounted to the same chassis that the engine is mounted to. So there is no movement at all, nothing, nada, nil. So, the kind of joint that we would usually put there, which would usually be for side-to-side movement, which would take out some of the rocking of the engine and a little bit of a rocking of the exhaust if it was on some, you know, your standard traditional mounts that move a little bit. We don't need that. What we do need is this kind of flexible joint, which is not actually a flexible joint, it's a compression bellows. And the reason we need that is to literally take out thermal expansion. That's all we need to do. So when the manifold and downpipe heat up to whatever unholy temperature they get this thing up to when they're on the dyno or around the racetrack, the expansion of said items will not be enough to break themselves. There you go, explanation over. Is it good enough for you? Was I poetic enough in the explanation?
There's no rhyming.
Pardon?
There's no rhyming.
There was no rhyming. It's one of those, you don't have to rhyme to be poetic, do you?
You do with my understanding of English literature.
Well, we won't go into that, will we? I finished the downpipe. See, it's in all its masterful glory. So I installed the downpipe.
You didn't even forget the lambda this time.
Didn't even forget the lambda this time. And I put the badge on. Do you get a super fast ramp, or is it just mega dangerous to have a super fast ramp? I've often wondered. I've had it for ages.
Main dealers must have really fast ramps to increase productivity.
Maybe. You go up, then down, and up, then down, and up. There's a bit of a wiggle. So it's small. And you've got to edge it over that part like that. A little bit more. There we go. She's in. There. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Line that up with that. Line that up with that. And it goes pop! The pop was the most satisfying pop ever because you know it fits if it pops. Ding. And then with one hand. Right, probably going to be better. Like that. The end, fin. Can you do that? Can you put one of those like at the end of really old school movies which just says fin at the end?
How hard can it be?
You're going to have to jazz this video up a little bit, Andrew. I think you should put some videos of this thing going around the track because there's a few of them and it spits flames and does all sorts of cool stuff.
Let's see what we can find.
I'm sure you can dig something up. Mani or caliber. Anyway, the downpipe's on. I haven't put any clamps on, but you can clearly see it all fits. They might not want, I think they were going to take the turbo back off of it again, so I'm not going to bother clamping it up. Let's demonstrate that everything is happily where it should be.
Ready to race.
Ready to race again, yet with more flexibility.